Oh, yeah, cool. So our second lesson this week is on written methods of calculation for multiplication. Now, there are lots of ways we can go about this, and I can't fit them all into one lesson, but we're going to have a look at where our written method comes from, and then I'm going to show you examples of how to use it. So here we have a model for how we can look and start to understand how our written method works. And this is our long multiplication. So what this does is split up each part into smaller parts, and I'll show you short multiplication later as well. So what we've got here is a model showing 12 times 4. And the way that this works is that you have 10 and 2. So this part of our model here is our 12. And we're doing that 4 times. So I have 4 parts. So in theory, I could add them all together and add them together. But that's using this physical representation using Dean's blocks, or pictorial representation using this. Then what we want is a written method for that. So if I clear that, the way to do it is we're going to split that down. And we do that by splitting it down, making sure that we are timesing each part of our top number by the bottom number. So the first is we times the ones column by 4. That's 2 times 4. And you can see that is the ones column. So that there is 8, because 2 times 4 equals 8. Then we times our tens column, and we get our answer for our tens column. So we've done 10, because there's 1 times 4, so that's what we're timesing by, and that makes 40. And then the final step is to add those two parts together. Those two parts go together to make 48. Now, sometimes what you'll notice is that some of these bits go into the next column up. But because the second part of our method, this part of it, is addition, it works exactly the same as our written form of addition. So if you go over the boundary, you go over 10, it is carried over into the next column, exchanged with the next column, and makes that 1 bigger. Remember that for later. So in this example, I'm going to show you short multiplication, which is really useful, but can be quite confusing because remember I was talking about that exchange in the addition side of things. You're melding this into one part in this, and sometimes that can trip people up. So what we're doing is 13 times 4. And here we have our answers. 13 times 4, you can see that this is our 13 here. We got a 10 and 1 and 3 ones, and I've got that 4 times. And then I times it by 4. Now remember what we said before is we do 4 times our units. So here we are just going to work out the answer for our ones column. Now 4 times 3 is 12. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what's always our rule is we can never have 2 digits in one column. So we can't put 12 into just the ones column. So much like in our addition, we have to exchange 10 of those ones for 1 10. How do we write that? Well, actually, you've all done it before. We take 10 of them. So there's my 10. Going to take those. These ones are all going to be exchanged for 1 10. And I can put that down here. There it is. How do I show that on my board over here? Well, much like we have done before, we put what's left over, the 2, which we have here, that goes there, and we carry that 1 into the next column. There it is. That is in the next column. We're going to add that to that column. What you can see here is you can still see the 12, which is 4 times 3. There's the 1, there's the 2, that makes the 12. Then we go to the next column, we got 4 times 1. Or 4 times 10, because it's 10. There's my 4 tens, plus that additional 1 I've got here. So I do my multiplication and then I add the bit at the bottom. So I do 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So in that column goes my answer, 5. So my answer is 52. Now we can check that. We can go back to the very original one. We can either look at how we've exchanged it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 10th column and 2 left over here because we exchanged these. Or if we were to count all of them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So either way we look at it, it works like that. So here are some questions for you to try. Use either method you like. You can use physical representations, you can use pictorial, you can use the written method, but try and make sure you write it in the end in that written method, just so you can see how it is used. Have a go, pause now. Okay, so let's go through the answers for the questions we got on board. Now, as you can see, I've made sure I've laid it out in the way that we've got it, making sure our columns are quite explicit. And the reason why that is important is because it helps us make sure that we put them into the right columns. And when we're carrying over, we carry into the right columns as well. And this becomes more important when either we have a larger number on the top or we're times things by a 2-digit number rather than a 1-digit number, which you will come on to. So we've got 32 times 6. The first thing we do is we times whatever number we have here by the units or the ones, and then we times by 10. So we do 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Much like we do in our addition, we carry the 1 to the next column because it's going to be added on to the answer of 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus this one is 19, and we have our answer there. The next one, 69 times by 5. So again, starting with the ones column, then the tens. We do 9 times 5, which is 45. And we do 5 times 6, which is 30, plus that 4, which is 34. And this one here, we've got 26 times by 3. So we do 6 times 3 first, which is 18. We do 20 times 3, which is 60, plus 1, which is 70. We come over here, we're going to follow the same pattern. So we start off with 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18, as we said before. And then 6 times 5, which is 30, plus the 1 is 31. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. And then we've got 9 times 4, which is 36. And then we do 4 times 7, which is 28, plus the 3, which is 31. And there's our answers. Finally, I've got some questions for you to try yourself. Have a go, use either method you like, whichever one works best for you. And I will see you in the next lesson.